That's all right.
Recording in progress.
Okay, thanks very much everyone for joining us for the post-match press conference following New Zealand versus Scotland. We're joined by Scotland captain Kyle Coetzer. Thanks very much for joining us, Kyle. So as usual, we will start off with questions in the room before we switch over to Zoom. If you have questions, please can I ask you to put your hand up in the system, please, and remain on mute throughout until you are asked to ask your question. So we'll start with questions in the room. I'll start myself. Kyle, commiserations, great team performance from yourselves. What can you take from that sort of performance moving forward?
I think off the back of 2 losses prior to today, I think it was about us going out and trying to perform as best we could against a really strong New Zealand side. I think if we were able to restrict Guptill earlier in the innings, perhaps, that might change the game. Obviously, it would change the game, but we know that they still got strength and depth down their lineup. But for us to go out there and put on a bit of a show to show what we're capable of is, that's certainly something to take from today. But I do think that we'll probably look back on that. We've had a number of games against New Zealand over the years, and some have been close, some haven't. And this is one that you're saying 17 runs, 17 runs is a reasonable size in T20 cricket, but for us, we'll probably look back and say, where are those little moments in the game that we could have probably closed that gap, and maybe is that an opportunity missed on our behalf? But that's where we've got to keep raising our bar.
Yeah, you run New Zealand incredibly close today. Was there any particular moment within the game where you thought, we've got them here, we've got them against the ropes?
I think there was a couple of moments. We picked up 3 wickets just coming out of the power play. That was really important for us. And the class of Guptill showed through there, I thought, and Phillips, when he came in, they built a really powerful partnership there. And if we were able to peg back 1 more wicket, then again, that's a moment in the game that you've got to look at. And then the second half, I thought we were going well. 10 overs at the drinks break, and we were a couple of runs ahead of New Zealand at that point. So where's it gone from there? So look, obviously they're a fine bowling attack and fine team, and you've got to expect them to bowl well. And I did say to our team, if we're going to win today, it's going to be the long game. It's not going to be a short game. It's going to be a tight one. And a couple of those moments, I think they just took those moments in the game.
New Zealand, obviously, really strong team, like you've mentioned there yourself. I presume you guys will draw a hell of a lot of confidence from this performance moving forward in this tournament and beyond. What are the key learnings for you as a side? Are there any improvements that you feel like you need to make immediately, or is this part of a longer journey for Scotland?
We've got quite a confident bunch of players who strongly believe that we deserve to be here. Obviously, we're here, so we've played our part to get to here, and we've got a quietly confident group of Scottish lads who think that we can continue to progress in this tournament. This game has probably just given us a bit more confidence again, because we lost. We'd say we were pretty unhappy with the 2 performances we put in prior to this game. So will certainly instill a bit of confidence, and we've just got to keep pushing and keep believing in our games. We're going to come up against 2 fantastic sides still in this competition. So what a great time to be a Scottish cricketer! What a great time to be a Scottish fan! So it's the sky's the limits, really, but we've just got to be willing to go out there and trust ourselves.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Kyle. We will now switch over to questions on Zoom, so I can see a couple of hands up. Matt Roller, please, your question.
Hi, if I can ask a couple, please. First, about Mark Watt. How impressed have you been with him throughout this tournament and today in particular?
Yeah, today again, Mark was fantastic. He's been bowling extremely well for quite a while now, and this whole tour that we've been on, it'll be coming up to about 7 weeks by the time we leave. And Mark's been fantastic. He's been the guy who'll, you can throw the ball to at any end, short boundary, long boundary, into the breeze, against the breeze. He's there and he's willing to do it, as are a number of other guys. But Mark's been fantastic. I think he's probably shown that the skill he has and the ability to be able to restrict runs and understand the game, playing the game. It's not just about being able to deliver a ball that has some revs on it and it might turn, or bowl a good Yorker. It's actually understanding the game and reading the game. So Mark's got excellent game sense at the moment. So he's nailing that at the moment and showing why he should be on the stage and why he is on the stage.
And is he the sort of guy that puts in a lot of prep for specific batters?
Yeah, I think everyone puts in the prep. I think every team in this competition has someone who's sending out the relevant information on oppositions, and Mark's very aware of who does what when it comes to players when they sweep and reverse sweep and where they look to hit the ball down the ground. So that prep's done, yeah.
And just lastly, he's played a little bit of county cricket in the past. Do you see him as someone who will get contracts in the Blast and maybe even other leagues in the future on the back of his performances in this tournament?
I would hope so. I think Mark deserves that as far as I'm concerned, and he's certainly got the ability to go and play in those competitions, and not only the county stuff, maybe other franchise tournaments around the world. I think he's certainly put his hand up to be one of the best left-arm spinners in this competition.
Thanks very much.
Okay, moving on to Jamie Durant, please.
Hi, Kyle. First of all, how's Josh Davey?
Yeah, Josh he's picked up a bit of a niggle, and I think he'll be getting assessed probably tomorrow. But first of all, Josh has been fantastic for us in this tournament, so we're all hoping that he'll be okay.
And obviously, kind of Michael Leask with that kind of innings at the end, is that kind of a little glimpse of what he's capable of?
Of course it is. I've heard many times of a couple of innings around Scotland where he's been hitting balls into Dumfries somewhere, so he's certainly capable of striking a good cricket ball, and he's brilliant in the field, and he has his moments with the ball and does exceptionally well for us in all aspects. So look, it's just a glimpse of what Michael Leask can do. He's still not reached his peak yet, I don't think, and I'm excited to see where he can get to.
Kind of lastly for me, obviously with the 2 games to go you've got, what else would you kind of like to see from this team?
Yeah, the point I made to our playing group and our staff a few days ago was, as much as we want to win the games, I don't really mind how the results end up panning out. It's about how we go and show ourselves on this stage and how we go and try and play our cricket. We've got a strong, powerful brand of cricket that we play, but we need to challenge ourselves at this level as often as we possibly can. That's the only way we'll keep improving. And I think today was an improvement again. There's still a little bit left in the tank yet. We wouldn't want to be anywhere else. They're 2 fantastic sides we're going to come up against, so we're really looking forward to it.
Cheers.
Okay, great. Are there any more questions? Last chance. Okay, I can't see anything else. So thanks very much for your time, Kyle.
Cheers. Thank you.
All the best. Cheers.
Well, I need this chair for PlayStation. I need this chair for PlayStation.
So I'll just put the names in the chat.
Okay, thank you very much everyone again for joining us for this post-match press conference following New Zealand versus Scotland. We're now joined by Martin of New Zealand. Thanks very much for joining us, Martin. For anyone else who's joining us on Zoom, if you do have questions, please can you pop your hand up? And if you are chosen, your name will appear in the chat. So please keep a lookout for your name in the chat there, and then you'll need to unmute yourself, ask your question, and then mute yourself immediately afterwards. So let's start with some questions in the room. So just from me, Martin, incredible innings. Talk us a little bit through the emotions that you went through, because I guess obviously starting the innings, losing a few wickets, and then kicking on from there must have been a bit of a thought process that went on.
Yeah, I thought Scotland bowled very well up front, didn't allow us to get away too quickly. And then to take 3 wickets in the front 6 overs. It's always tough to come back from that. But I thought the way that Glenn came out, and we've played a lot of cricket together, and we know how each other bat. So it was nice to get another big partnership with him and set the team up for a match-winning total.
Just a quick word on the conditions there. We could see towards the end that they looked like it was taking a lot out of you. Was it difficult batting in that heat?
It is, especially when Glenn's trying to run 2 every ball. It was warm, and when you get down, to the end of the innings, then you're trying to get as many runs as you can, swinging hard, and then trying to get back for 2s as well. It takes it out of you, and then you had to come off halfway through the fielding innings with a bit of cramp. So it wasn't ideal, but we got there in the end.
Great. And just a word on Scotland. You mentioned obviously they run you incredibly close today. Is it fair to say that every game that you're going to come up, every team that you're going to come up against in this tournament is going to create a different challenge and be incredibly competitive, whether they're an associate or a full member?
100%. Every team that we've played already, Pakistan, obviously, they're flying high at the moment. India always pose a big challenge. Scotland today, we have never played in Namibia before, so, they're going to be a different challenge to us. And then we've obviously got Afghanistan last. So, every team has different challenges and match winners in their team throughout the lineup. So it's going to be a tough couple of games coming up.
Great, thanks very much. That's all from me. I'll now hand over to Willie, who will now select people to ask their questions.
Hi Martin, shall I start off? Could you just expand a little bit in terms of the heat and the humidity today? You've obviously played a lot of games in your career. Have you ever sort of felt quite as oppressed by conditions as you did today?
I probably haven't battled long enough in the previous conditions and that before, but no, today it was tough today. I've certainly played in hotter, but when in T20 cricket, when you're running, nearly every ball and trying to hit boundaries, and it just takes it out of you a lot quicker than it does if you're back home.
And could you talk a bit about what Mark Watt, the left-arm spinner, was like to face? Sort of seemed like you guys were happy to play him out and target the other bowlers.
He just doesn't give a lot. He wasn't trying to turn the ball necessarily or anything like that. He's just bowling good lines and lengths, getting inside our arc, so we couldn't really take him down. So he bowled very well, and it was just a matter of trying to get through and then not letting him, bog us down too much.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, Martin, Ian Anderson here from Stuff. Congratulations. How big an onus did you feel was on your shoulders to bat through and get a big score, given a loss of a couple of wickets before the end of the power play there?
Yeah, it's never ideal losing those 3 wickets in the power play, but it was all about just creating one big partnership to get us to a competitive total. And I thought the way that Glenn batted, really helped me. I've said previously, we've played a lot of cricket together now, and we understand the way each other bats. So we were able to get a nice partnership going and put up a good total.
Did that sort of early run rate, you got a couple of boundaries early, did that early run rate give you a little bit of a chance to not have to panic, to be able to rebuild a little bit, knowing that you weren't, for example, you went, say, 35 for 3 after 6 or something like that, that you still were able to keep things ticking over? Yeah,
I guess so. You got to try on these wickets. If there's some loose line bowling, you got to try and pounce on it. And I was lucky enough to get a couple of wide ones early on and put them away. But overall, I thought they actually bowled very well on the front 6 overs. Made it actually really tough for us to get away to an absolute flyer. So credit to Scotland there.
And we sometimes sort of scoff a little bit when Kane talks about, not looking further ahead. Everyone's been talking about the Afghanistan game and being a crucial one for you. But I guess today showed that you can't look that far ahead because they were pretty competitive and gave you a bit of a scare at times.
Yeah, absolutely not. You've got to take it each game as it comes. We play in 2 days' time against Namibia. We've never played against them before. So, we've got scouting meetings tomorrow and see how their bowlers bowl, their batters bat. So, we'll do all the right things tomorrow before the game.
Cheers.
Hi, Martin.
G'day.
Yeah, my question is to you is that does it feel like a roller coaster? You are traveling on a roller coaster when you were how the match was going on today with Scotland.
We roller coaster. Not too much. I don't think so. There weren't too many ebbs and flows or anything like that. We got off to a slower start, but then I thought we really pulled it back and made sure that we, Glenn and I, put that big partnership together to almost shut Scotland out of the game. Not ideal getting out consecutive balls like that, but that's the way cricket goes. But I thought they batted extremely well as well. Our bowlers did very well up front, and then there was little partnerships through their innings. But I think we took wickets regularly enough to stem the flow of runs.
Yeah, David, you can go for it.
Hi, Martin. Sorry, I've joined the call late, so apologies if you've already answered this question. I was just wondering how it feels to have passed 3,000 T20 international runs. I think only Virat Kohli is the only batter who's done that.
Oh, look, it's pretty cool, but it's not necessarily about all the personal milestones or anything like that. It's about getting the wins for the team. And today was a good day for us, and we go again in a couple of days' time to hopefully do it again.
All right. Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks, Martin.
That's right, William.
Thanks for your time, guys. That concludes the press conference.